So let's look at what I harvested just a few minutes ago for dinner this evening. This. Let me take you to the sink, show you what we have. When I harvest, if I'm harvesting for dinner, I usually only harvest enough for dinner. If I'm harvesting for like preserving, then of course I'm going to harvest a lot more than this. But we have a ton of kale, as you guys, I don't know if you watched any previous videos, but you will see a giant patch of it. And so I always make sure I get a ton of that. The stems are awesome because they're not too big and thick like something you would buy at a grocery store. But look at these leaves. They're like bigger than my hand. They're huge. So you can grow your own curly kale, European kale, whatever kind of kale you like, in my opinion, pretty easily. So there's another piece. And then I also picked some beet greens. The beets actually have formed. I could actually start harvesting beets if I wanted to. But look at how big these are. They're almost as large as my hand. And the stems are delicious. You chop them up smaller like you would celery in your salad, or you can, have longer pieces that you pickle. Yum. And I know I got more of those. Let me just see where the rest are hiding. Here are some more. Here's an entire, just to show you guys the beets, how they're doing. But this is the smallest. I tried to pick the smallest beet I could see. The rest of them are probably about like the size, I would say, of a baseball almost. This was the smallest one I could find. And this is larger than a golf ball. But look at the greens on this. Look at these delicious stems. So this whole thing can be consumed. And it's delicious. That's the other thing. And someone asked me once, what do they taste like? They taste, in my opinion, like a cross between a mixture of something like kale or spinach and Swiss chard, something like that. It's delicious. You guys will love it if you like any of those plants as far as consumption goes. I only stayed out there a few moments, but as you can see, this is a Swiss chard leaf, and it is also, if I laid it flat, larger than my hand, almost as large as my hand. So I picked some of those, take all of that out. I also, here you go. Yeah, you guys, we have garlic. It is the first time I've successfully grown the actual bulbs. The issue, and I spoke about this in a previous video, that I had is that I was growing them or trying to grow them, I should say, in when technically you should, if you live in zone 6A or 6B, these should be in the ground in October, November, the latest, if the ground isn't frozen. And they just do their thing under the soil. And yes, you're just, planting a clove with the pointy part sticking up and the rough part down in the dirt. Approximately, I planted mine, I believe, about 3 inches deep in my zone. And I do cover my garden beds in the winter with pine needles that come right off the trees that we have on the property. I just make sure there's like no seeds or anything like that in it. So it's, clean pine mulch, I think is what it's called. And abundance. Yes, use a good soil, compost mixture. I don't put any, like, what I put into my soil as amendments are eggshells that are broken up pretty, they're not fine like a powder. They're just like little tiny shards that are probably the size of a fourth of your pinky fingernail if you have natural, like a nail like this. I also save our nutshells, seafood shells. So whether it be from lobster, crab, oysters, mussels, whatever shellfish you can imagine. I also put the onion peel, garlic peel, that kind of thing in there. The dry after I do my dehydrating and I have the stems left from the basil, for example, I save that to go into this special blend that I keep in a bucket in the garage, covered, sealed tight, and I just shake it up every like couple of weeks or so just to make sure everything is mixed together and also to help break up the eggshells even more. And what I will do in the spring or before spring planting is I will pull the soil back on the garden beds, probably 12 inches at least, put a layer of that mixture, cover it back over, leave it for like a week or two, and then I will do my planting on top of that. So that's how my plants receive their extra nitrogen and other nutrients beside compost, normal composting. And as a matter of fact, right here in the kitchen, on the counter, some people, I wonder if anyone opened this when we had this baby shower recently, but if you did, you would see that there's eggshells in there, there's some nutshells, some dried sticks are right over there from the basil, onion peel, etc. That's what this is for. It actually has a carbon filter, and the bag that everything is going in right there is compostable as well. So when I'm working in the kitchen, I don't have to run back and forth. I can put everything in here. Then I take that when it gets full enough, dump it into the bigger pail that's like a Lowe's construction pail, I guess we'll call it, with their lid. And I have another one right next to it just in case I get an overabundance. And everything goes in there. So you can do this nice, neat, easily. So if you don't want to really deal with composting, that is I don't know what it's called that I'm doing, but that's kind of a way to cheat and do composting in a different type of way. The only thing is when you're planting your seed, your potatoes, whatever it is, you can't go any deeper, which I don't know of anything you'd be planting deeper than 12 inches. Because if you do, then of course you're going to hit the layer of this deliciousness that you put in there to, give nourishment to your plants and such throughout the summer and their growth cycle. But so that's that. And then I took just a couple pieces of the garlic scape because I have a ton of it I've dehydrated, and something I've never grown before that is growing amazingly is bok choy. I will definitely be growing bok choy again. This is not completely mature, so this is beyond a microgreen, but I would say it may, yeah, this is definitely, because look at how big these leaves are compared to my hands. So this is definitely not microgreen size, but these will grow a lot bigger in their little bundles. But I couldn't help myself. I had to pick some so I could put it in today's salad that I'm going to be making. And that's what I harvested today. So as you guys know, I always talk about, see, this will go into this container. It's dried. That's the one thing, is I only like putting things that are dried other than eggshells, because the eggshells dry out quickly. But as you guys know, my mantra is grow your own. I should start saying you can do it, because you can. If I can do it, I learned how to do all of this stuff from watching my family members who are no longer with us that used to be deeply into gardening. See, this dried piece can go in there as well. So like I said, you can do it too. You don't have to buy everything from the grocery store. You might have to supplement with a grocery, as we all do, but it's fun. It's great exercise. And I hope that you guys have a nice day, and please subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Just say hello below in the comments. I always love that, and take care.